Mrs. Farida Atia. I am a Zoroastrian and I would like to tell you something about the disposal of the dead from the Zoroastrian point of view. The universe is made up of 4 elements: earth, water, fire and air. The Zoroastrian religion lays utmost stress on maintaining the purity of these elements. Therefore, in all their religious ceremonies, great care is taken to see that these elements are in no way polluted or defiled. Bearing that in mind, the religion advocates a unique, scientific and most eco-friendly system of the disposal of the dead called Dkhme Nashini or Khurshid Nagirashni. The latter meaning exposure to the sun. For the very same reason, a Zoroastrian does not practice alternative modes of the disposal like the burial, water burial or cremation, because in all of these, one of the elements is polluted, namely earth, water and fire respectively. According to the Vanidad, the book on anti-demonic laws, 5 conditions are necessary for Dkhme Nashini. The construction should be of stone, brick, clay or mortar. It should be on a high hill or a mountain or a flat plain on a high mountain. It should be open so that carnivorous birds and animals can easily spot them. The body should lie naked without any covering. The sun's rays should fall directly on the body. The structure of the modern Dkhma satisfies all these conditions. The Dkhma, or the Tower of Silence, is a round building based on the law of economy because a round building occupies lesser space. The high wall built all around it is to prevent the site of the disposal from being visible to others. The wall is made up of a certain height, taking into consideration the fact that vultures cannot fly very high. The circular platform inside the Dkhma, 300 feet in circumference, is paved with large stone slabs, well cemented and divided into 3 rows from the circumference to the center for the corpses of males, females and children respectively. Near the entrance is a platform for the corpse bearers to move about. A deep central well, 150 feet in circumference, the sides of which are also paved with stone slabs, is used for depositing the dry bones after the vultures and the scorching rays of the sun have completed their respective jobs. Thus, the rich and poor lie on a level of equality after death. The inner side of the well have holes in them through which the drain water is passed into 4 drains at the base of the tower. The 4 drains are connected to 4 underground wells, the bottoms of which are covered with a thick layer of sand. Pieces of charcoal and sandstone are also placed at the end of each drain, and this is renewed from time to time. These double set of filters are provided for purifying the rainwater passing over the bones before it enters the ground, thus preventing Mother Earth from being polluted. The body is kept naked so that birds can easily spot them. their task becomes easier and quicker. Besides, it reminds each one of us that naked hast thou come in this world, and naked thou shalt leave it. It gives no opportunity to man to display his pomp or wealth. The vultures are nature's supreme scavengers. Their nature of consuming decomposed flesh, leaving only the bones, is a great help in controlling the environmental hazards. A Zoroastrian, by offering his mortal remains as food to the vultures, performs his last act of charity and also immensely helps Mother Nature in maintaining the ecological balance. The sun is a source of all energy. It nourishes the useful vegetation and sustains animal life. The sun's rays are the most powerful weapons against microbes, bacteria, and germs. Therefore, Khurshid Nagi Rashni, or the exposure to the sun, is done to safeguard the living against the contagion arising from the dead. It is important to note that the Dokhma is not merely a round tower-like structure where the mortal remains are laid to rest. It is a consecrated place created by the most intrinsic rituals, including the Kudali Marwani Kriya, where the priest digs the ground whilst chanting prayers, the Tano Purvani Kriya, where 301 nails weighing 4 mons are struck in the ground at various points. The cotton cord, made up of 101 threads, is passed round these 301 nails thrice round, creating a ritual and spiritual circuit. After that, higher liturgical ceremonies like the Ijashne and Vanidad are performed. All this is done to control the Druje Nasus, or the demon of putrefaction. From the doctrinal point of view, a dead body is attacked by Druje Nasus, or the demon of decomposition, which rushes towards the dead. In order to minimize its onslaught, the Sachkar is performed as quickly as possible, wherein the body is washed with fresh taro, bull's urine. The taro is a strong antiseptic, and it also contains Candice fluid, carbolic acid, and carbonate of lime. Besides, it contains urea and ammonia. A fire is constantly kept burning near the dead body to purify the atmosphere. The decomposed is so contaminated that the clothes which come in contact with it are useless for the living. Therefore, in order to avoid any undue wastage in nature, the body is wrapped in used old clothing and a kusti tied round the waist. The hands are folded so that minimum space is contaminated. The body is then laid to rest on marble slabs. A kash, or a line of demarcation, is drawn all round the body on the ground with an iron nail. This ritually confines the druj within the demarcated line. The sagdid, or the dog's gaze, is performed from time to time in order to ascertain whether the dead is in fact in a state of suspended animation. Besides, the dog's gaze is supposed to drive away Druje Nasus and other psychic evils. Thus, Dokhme Nashini, along with the 4 days ceremonies, helps to control the Druje Nasus, to protect the living from the contagion arising from the dead, to destroy the body as quickly as possible, and to send the elements of which it is composed back to nature, and to lead the Urvan, soul, in the protection of Sarosh-Yazar. Thus, Dokhme Nashini is a system by which the body is disposed very quickly, most naturally, with the least disturbance in the ecological balance and with the least harm to the living or to the good creations of Ahura Mazda, besides imbibing in it the philosophy of equality, economy and simplicity.
In Iran, as per tradition, the new Dakhma is not used until either a pious man or a nameless infant dies. Both are considered to be without sin, after which it is open for general use. In the diaspora, the practice followed is that of burial, and history of the Parsis can be traced from the burial ground that still exist in Hong Kong, Macau, Singapore, Zanzibar and London. In the early 19th century, an Englishman, Robert Xavier Murphy, coined the term Tower of Silence for the roofless tower that he saw when visiting the Dongarwadi complex in Bombay.